This is like a comedy bit I've been working on. I don't know how I feel about it. It kind of goes all over the place, but I do like the title I came up with, which is Things That Are Hot Can Be Wet. Right? The other day, I was running around my house trying to do a bunch of different things at the same time, multitasking, I think they call it. And one of the things I was doing was my laundry. So at some point I ran over to the dryer to see if my sheets were dry. I was like, oh great, they're dry. So I threw them on top of the dryer and I put the comforter in the washing, or in the dryer. It had been in the washing. Well, you understand how laundry works. So I'm running around doing other stuff, and then eventually I'm like, oh, maybe I'll put the sheets on the bed. So I go to grab the sheets and I'm like, oh my God, they're still a little wet. How did I make a mistake like this? I mean, I was in a hurry. I thought I was doing it right. And then I'm like, oh, I know what it was. It's like the sheets weren't actually dry. They were just hot. And I thought, God, that's so fucking stupid. Things that are hot can be wet, right? I guess I forgot. It hasn't come up in a while. But it bothered me a little bit because I feel like I don't focus as well as I used to, and I'm worried that it's related to aging. So I was complaining to a friend of mine, and he said, hey man, you're only as old as you feel. And I said, oh wow, if that's true, I think I may have died of old age 20 years ago. Maybe I'm a ghost. And then he said, if you don't like the idea of aging, just consider the alternative. And I said, so you're saying that getting older is better than literally being dead? That's a pretty low fucking bar, man. You got anything else? And then he said, age ain't nothing but a number. And I said, are you actually trying to help? So at this point, I was really depressed. So I did what I always do when I'm really depressed. I went to Hooters. And if you've never been to Hooters, Hooters is exactly what you think it is. Maybe even more so. It may even be more of what you're thinking than you actually think. But at the end of my meal, the girl, that's what they call them, Hooter girls. I understand she's a grown-ass woman. Please don't try to cancel me. I didn't do anything. The girl brings me my check and she says, would you like to buy a calendar? And I said, well, no, not really, because, you know, it's 2024. Like if I ever need a calendar, I just go online. I have the internet at my house. And she said, but this calendar has pictures of girls in bikinis. And I said, I have the internet at my house. Look, can I just pay for my food with this futuristic little piece of plastic and then go get in my horseless carriage and go home? But I didn't go home right away because I was still a little depressed. So I did what I always do when I'm still a little depressed. I went to Walmart. Now, if you've never been to Walmart, I mean, come on, you've been to Walmart. If any of you have actually never been to Walmart, I'm guessing you also do not own a TV. And there's probably a really interesting story about why you don't own a TV, and I'd love to hear it sometime, but now is neither the time nor the place. But for my fellow TV owners, you know when you go to Walmart and the parking lot is just packed and you just can't find any space within any kind of reasonable walking distance, and it's driving you crazy because you're going to spend more time in the damn parking lot than you are in the store, and it's ruining your normally upbeat, sunny demeanor. Yeah, I don't actually have an upbeat, sunny demeanor. But then you turn up one more row of cars, and you're creeping up that row of cars, and you're like, oh my God, there's a space, there's a space, there's a space. But what do you discover when you get a little closer? That's right. Yet another asshole deliberately bought a small car just to fuck with you. And you know how you know that's why they bought the car? If that's not why they bought the car, why did they pull so far up into the space? Why did they hide the car from you? They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. Now, I know that most of you are with me on this. but I feel like at least a couple of you are saying to yourself, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Do you seriously think somebody is sitting in a dealership making a decision to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a vehicle just so they can fuck with people in parking lots? I would. In fact, I will. Next time I get a car, I'm getting a Mini Cooper. You know how I feel about Mini Coopers. I don't care. I'm getting one anyway, and then it'll be my turn. And you better believe that when I leave that car lot, the first place I'm going to go is a Walmart. And if the parking lot is kind of empty. I guess I'll have to go to another. Actually, the first place I'll go is to fill the tank up. And then I'll start looking for Walmarts with really full parking lots. And then it'll be my turn. Oh my God, it's going to be such a great day. The only thing that bothers me about it is I feel like when I buy the car, the salesman is going to ask me if I want a calendar. Thank you for listening.